welcome back to my channel. My name is Renee. For those of you guys that are new, hello. Welcome to our channel. Today's video is going to be the top 12 movies on my favorite movie list. These movies are must-see movies. I will not give any spoilers, but I will give a plot, and I'll explain to you guys like the message behind the movie and why it's so good. All of the movies will be linked in the description box if you guys want to have the list for yourselves. I've had this list on my phone for the longest time, and I love movies so much, but I'm very picky with my movies. They have to have like a really good meaning and message, but the like film itself also has to be really good. These are my top 12. If you guys want to comment down below your top 12 or your favorite movie, please let me know. I'm gonna go down the list, so we're gonna start with 12 and we'll go down to my favorite movie. So the 12th movie on my list is an animated movie, and this movie is Up. It is the cutest animated film probably ever. It has a super emotional feeling like type of vibe. It is such a good movie. The movie is about a guy named Carl Fredricksen who is kind of a loner and very shy and quiet and kind of reserved, and as a kid he meets this girl named Ellie, and eventually they get married and they become a family, and their goal in life, their dream, is to go to Paradise Falls, which is like this place. That's how they kind of like met, through the interest of Paradise Falls and what that represents to them. They try to save to go to Paradise Falls, and then it turns out that all these different things start happening in their lives. That kind of gets thrown to the back, and then something happens to Ellie and she passes away, and so that kind of just leaves Carl Fredricksen alone in his little house, and he just kind of turns into this big grump. The house to him resembles Ellie in his life, so he doesn't want to leave the house, but he wants to leave where they live. So he decides one day to fill up all these balloons and float to Paradise Falls, and he looks at the house as Ellie. What is he gonna do? He's gonna bring the house to Paradise Falls. When he gets up there, he realizes there's this kid like on his patio, and it's like his worst nightmare. The kid is so annoying, he's such a grump, and it kind of gets in the way of what his goal is. So the movie to me represents a lot about letting go, loss, and understanding that adventure is not the destination itself, but the process and the people and the relationships that you build along the way. It is the cutest movie ever. The actual like visuals of it, it's such a colorful movie, which I really like in animated films. I just love lots of colors, and it's just a really good film. The 11th movie on my list is another animated film. Whenever I babysat, I would literally push on the kids so much because the message is so powerful, and that movie is Lorax. It is a Dr. Seuss book that was made into a movie, and the Lorax is basically about this kid named Ted who lives in this world where there's no nature, and just like we used to get milk cartons delivered to the front of our door every week, he and his community get air delivered to their door. It's just kind of a necessity that they pay for because they don't have nature, and this guy kind of monopolized the selling of air. He's super powerful, and he like literally controls everything because he controls what we need, which is air. Ted, the kid, finds a girl that he starts to really like, and the girl just really wants this specific tree, and it's impossible to find the tree, so he goes against the rules and tries to find a tree to make this girl like him. But while he does that, he discovers the story of the Lorax and how his little community came to be, and how it was with nature, and what nature kind of resembles and why we need it. So what I take from the movie is like obviously the importance of the environment and taking care of our environment, but also going against something that is super powerful but you know is not the right way to live. I believe it's like companies who control our world and try to like gear us towards something, and all they're doing is making money, but they're also making us very sick in the same way. It's just like there's a whole message behind it that I'm just like, yes, preach to me. The 10th movie on my list is Signs. So this is one of the best movies, I think. Obviously, it's on my list. It has Mel Gibson, my boy Joaquin Phoenix, Abigail Breslin's in it when she was really young. Basically, it's about a guy who lives on a farm with his family, and he's grieving the loss of his wife, and he was a pastor in his community, and after the passing of his wife, he no longer really believes in what he was preaching, and his faith is kind of like goes down the drain. And one day he wakes up and all of his crops have like these little like signs and symbols and circles in them, and he starts to wonder what happened to his crops and like what do these signs mean. And the whole movie kind of ties at the end, and it's just like, whoa. It's like one of those movies, and it's about like spirituality and faith, and it's a really good movie. It's like a sci-fi thriller. The 9th movie on my list is Crash. This is a must-see movie. I probably watch this at least once a year. It's all about racism and power and gender, and it is just such a powerful movie. I highly recommend to watch when you can like literally just sit down and watch it and just feel it and understand and take away a message from it. It's like one of those endings where it just kind of is like, whoa, like I did not see that coming. There are so many different actors, incredible actors in this movie. Basically the message is all about class and racism and how we kind of view each other and how we kind of are all as well interconnected. And it's a very, very powerful movie. Number 8 is Captain Phillips with my boy Tom Hanks. He's probably my favorite actor ever, literally ever. It's him. There's so many, I can't even get into it. I can do a whole separate video about that too. So this is actually a true story. Captain Phillips was on a US ship like transporting goods or something like that, and Somalian pirates take over this ship and hold everyone on the boat hostage, and Captain Phillips kind of has to figure out a way to not only like get the pirates taken care of, but also ensure the safety of his crew and make sure that everyone's getting home safe and that he gets home safe. And this movie, like, I'm not kidding you when I tell you, you are on edge at every second. It is the most powerful thriller movie. It's so good, and the fact that it's a true story just makes it all the better and makes your emotions like super peaked, and it's just a really good movie. Number 7 is going to be Gone Girl. So I actually watched this movie one time when my dad just like threw it on, and I like was immediately intrigued. And with me, when I watch movies or TV shows, it takes a lot for me to just be fully engaged in like something. I usually am a multitasker, like I have to be doing something while I'm also watching some form of entertainment or something. To me, when I was like captured by the movie, it like spoke to me and it like kept me intrigued. So basically it's about this couple, Ben Affleck is in it, Ben Affleck, and it's about this couple who is a, you know, typical couple. They have good money, they have a good life, and then all of a sudden the wife goes missing, and when she goes missing, things start to kind of come up where people start to speculate the husband. And the whole time you're kind of wondering, like, is it the husband? And you go, it was, and then maybe it wasn't, and like you're just literally hopping from thing to thing. The story kind of just unravels, and like you just become literally tangled up in this story. It is just so good, and like the wife's story alone, it like all ties into her like childhood, and it's just like, oh, so good. The 6th one is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So this one is a classic, and I only watch it in November, which is this month, because the spark of the movie would go away if I watch it any other time throughout the year, because it's a movie about these two guys, Steve Martin and my favorite, John Candy. They basically come into Pathways and they're trying to get home to their wives and family for the holiday Thanksgiving. They go through like so much to try to get home. Planes, trains, automobiles. What makes it super funny is that they have polar opposite personalities. It is like old school, like hilarious, like good ass humor. I think now like comedies, they just try so hard, and like this is just like my type of humor. One of the funniest movies I've ever seen. There's this twist at the end, and the message or the meaning behind the movie for me is to not judge other people, especially who are polar opposite than you, and that people are a lot more than what you just see on the surface level. The 5th movie is going to be Castaway. If you guys know Wilson. Some of these are like duh movies where I think like obviously everyone has seen, and if you haven't, I don't know what you're doing with your life. But again, my boy Tom Hanks is in there, and it's about this guy who is in love with this girl, and he works for FedEx, and the plane goes down. He survives, but he survives on this like island, and he has to find a way to not only to survive but also to get back home. As he's on the island, all these FedEx shipments start like coming onto shore on the island, so he can use those to kind of help him survive and all this stuff. And there's this one package that he's like, I will not open. It's almost like his means of survival. He's like, I will literally take this to where it belongs, and I'm gonna get there. And that's kind of the mindset that he takes in order to survive. And this ending is just, I'm getting chills now. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's all I can say. I can't say anything else if you haven't seen it, but oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sorry. I was just thinking about it. The movie is all about survival, but so much more than just the physical aspect of surviving. It's also like very emotional and mentally learning how to survive. It's just so good. So the 4th movie is The Notebook. Again, it's probably one of the movies that like everyone has seen. It's a love story, but it's so good. I'm not a fan of romantic movies. They're kind of like cringy to me, but The Notebook is just like, ugh. And the guy in there, his name is Noah, and you guys know I have a Noah, and it's just like so good. So basically Noah is the guy and he meets Allie and they fall in love, but the thing is that Allie's parents don't approve of the relationship because her status level, like her class, is much higher than Noah. Noah's kind of like a worker and she comes for money. And what happens is Noah ends up going to serve in World War II, which kind of like signifies like the ending of their relationship. And then he comes back. Allie has already moved on, like is about to get married, and they kind of like come back together and realize that their love isn't over, like their love story isn't over yet. And she just has a lot to like deal with. She's like literally getting married and this guy's coming back and all this stuff. Again, huge twist at the end. And it's just, this is a movie that makes me bawl. I don't just cry from this movie. I legit, like, I will bawl from this movie. I was watching at the end. This is so embarrassing. I was getting my nails done at the salon and they had it on, and it was at the end. And if you guys have seen the end, I was just like, I had a lump in my throat and I was like, don't watch it, don't watch it. And I could just feel my eyes tearing up and I was like, oh my God, oh my God. I can't not get emotional. It's just such a good story. So the third movie is Titanic. If you guys know the story of Titanic, it was a ship that hit an iceberg and it was like one of the largest ships at the time and a ton of people died. And it's just a very historic, monumental moment. They took the Titanic and kind of made it into a fictional love story. So basically Leonardo DiCaprio's in it and so is Kate Winslet. And Kate Winslet comes from a family in the movie of very high class, comes from lots of money. Again, it kind of like is like The Notebook now that I think about it. And then Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't have a lot of money. He doesn't come from money. And he ends up winning a bet and getting a ticket for the Titanic. So like he literally didn't even have the money to get to a Titanic. He won a bet. So he's not even supposed to be on the Titanic. They end up like meeting pathways and, you know, they have this whole love story. And then obviously the Titanic hits an iceberg. The ship goes down. It is just, it's the movie that has literally every single theme. It is romance, it's action, it's thriller. The second movie is Interstellar. This one used to be my number one until I watched the number one. I still watch it to this day and I learn something new from it every single time. I still can't even explain it all to you, but every time I watch it, I learn something new or I get something new from it. It is a very, very intense movie. You have to be really smart to understand it all, I feel like, because it's all about like universe and like wormholes, but at the same time like parallel universes. It's just a lot to take in. It is such a good story. So basically it's about Earth is dying and Matthew McConaughey has a family and lives on a farm, and basically all they have on Earth right now is like corn, so they have to survive. He ends up getting tied into NASA and goes to work for them and is literally on a mission to find a new planet for humans to survive on. And there's like 3 different planets that they have to reach to see if it's like livable. I don't know how this works exactly, but something with like the time, it's like if you go in this planet, time runs differently. So like it's like for every minute or something on this planet, Earth's time is like 3 years. So like he has to literally hop on and hop off because he has like family at home, and like if he doesn't leave or is like on the planet for too long, by the time he gets back his kids will be way older than him. And there's this twist. Again, it just gets me in my feels. I ball cry. Oh, it's just so good, so good. All right, so the number one movie on my list, my favorite movie ever, is, no surprise to you probably if you guys watch my vlogs, is the Joker, the new Joker. I am not like a super, like, what's it called? Super people? What are they? Super action heroes type of movie girl. I don't really like Avengers. I'm not like into like Batman, Superman, any of that stuff. But the Joker is a story about how the Joker became the Joker. So how did he become this evil villain? Like what's his story? And I was really intrigued by that, so I went to go watch it. First of all, every shot is just pristine. Not one shot of the movie was filmed that I didn't like. It is such an artistic looking film. Joaquin Phoenix is incredible in this movie. Incredible. The messages behind the story is what makes it for me. It's about mental health, mainstream media. It's about like talk show hosts and how they manipulate and control situations, and how the media control situations, how not everything that you see is what it is. And like I feel like every person who watches the Joker takes something different from it. All about perspective, but it's just such a good movie. If you're gonna watch it though, be careful because it is super violent. So I'm just throwing that out there. It's probably one of the most violent films I've watched. And I think because it ties into like mental health and stuff like that, it's just very powerful and disturbing, but such a good message. And all around, that film was something I've never seen before in my life. So those are my top 12 movies. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll have them linked in the description box. If you guys have seen all of these on my list, let me know. If you guys haven't seen any, let me know which ones you found the most interesting or intriguing to watch. And let me know some good movies. If you guys have like top movies, let me know. I know Harry, one of my subscribers, is really into movies, and I know you comment all the time. I'm excited to hear from you. And yeah, with that said, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys all in a future one. Bye.